Hey, Battle Bill here with another video, and today we're getting into our first actual battles and sets of Halloween Cup Go Battle League battles. Boy, am I excited for this meta and to showcase these battles with you guys. So, really quick, shout out to Niantic. I think they did a great job by just including this meta for a week long in Go Battle League. Is it the perfect meta? Not necessarily, but we learned from it, trial and error. We developed future metas that'll be even better and more exciting than this one. I'm just hyped for a nice change of pace, especially after Master League. So I want to give Niantic a quick shout out on that, and I hope it's something that returns in future seasons, depending on, different themes, different metas, different types, blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, this team, oh my god. So, typically when a new meta is, announced or a new, part of the season comes around, I show you my very first battles, but those very first battles aren't, the most valuable battles I'm going to showcase, because the first few sets that I did, I tried to just get a feel for Halloween Cup meta and just got a feel for a team, and I messed around with a lot of stuff, and then my last two sets of the day, I was able to settle on something that I went 9-1 with, and I'm going to showcase the 5-0 set with you guys. I'm really excited about it. You know how I do my videos. I only do one set because it allows me to talk through it and give valuable information throughout the battles, and also showcase the team properly and give you enough clips and matchups to kind of engage you. So we're going to jump into that. Let's talk about the team. We got Azumarill in the lead. I know, surprise, surprise, Azumarill's going to be in the meta. But you know what? Everybody wanted to start off this part of Halloween Cup running ground type leads. What was I supposed to do? Got Beedrill as a safe swap, and then Crustle in the back to close things out with Smackdown. A Double Bug Strat that honestly I'm excited really worked well, and it made some plays, lured out some mons. It sets itself up nicely. Let's talk about it. Let's get through the battle. So if you're excited for more Halloween Cup meta stuff and Halloween Cup battles, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's jump into this video. Also, because we only have a week for the Halloween Cup meta portion of the season, I didn't really want to show you my first battles because I didn't want to waste time. I want to get you the successful stuff that I possibly can as fast as possible, whether that be coming from my battles or me featuring other trainers' battles. So, let's get into this first one. One lead nice and hard against the Alola Marowak. They swap into Galvantula. Easy choice there. Go into my Smackdown Crustle. We can tank and discharge, no problem. They want to throw a lunge, by all means, go ahead. They throw it, puts us in the red, but that's fine. It gives the Marowak less farm. And honestly, I probably could have shielded that, but they might have an Azumarill in the back, so there's no point. Oh, look at that, and an Azumarill in the back. So even though if the Marowak would have came in, Crustle with Smackdown would have been great there if I kept it alive, it's much better that I didn't because of the fact that they had an Azumarill. Also, please excuse that I threw that X-Scissor. I have no idea why I didn't throw the Rock Slide. Throw the Rock Slide there. It almost kind of bites me a little bit in this match that I threw the X-Scissor. I thought maybe I can get the two of them, but they're both resisted. Rock Slide, neutral, 100%, throw a Rock Slide there. Don't know why I did that. It was just a weird situation for me. So we get a little bit of lag there, but I'm able to get a bunch of poison jabs in, kind of make up for it. It seemed to even out a bit there. And I'm going to get to this drill run. Whenever I play this matchup out against Azu, I always throw the drill run first because the majority of the time they don't actually shield. In this case they did. I got a shield from them. Awesome. I have no problem shielding myself because I should be able to outpace them to my next charge move. So I'm going to poison jab. They're going to swap to their Alola Marowak. I'm going to go back into Azumarill, and this match is pretty straightforward. Now, keep in mind, I'm running Ice Beam and Play Rough on my Azumarill because the only relevant steel type in this meta is Mawile, Shadow Mawile, and it's super glassy. It doesn't like bubbles. The Play Roughs and the Ice Beam still kind of hurt it. And then Alolan Marowak, which wouldn't want to see a Hydro Pump, doesn't like bubbles either. And Ice Beam and Play Rough actually, they don't do a lot of damage to Marowak, but they set it up so you can kind of bubble down and have energy for future matchups. So it kind of works out nicely in that type of situation, which is exactly what happens here. I Ice Beam that Alolan Marowak. They are going to get to the Shadow Ball, but look at how much health Azumarill has. Azumarill not worried about an Alolan Marowak Shadow Ball. It puts us in the yellow. Plenty of health. Got a nice amount of farm. We're down to shields here, but as long as we can get off a Play Rough, which we have plenty of health to survive their Play Rough, or go for an Ice Beam bait, because that's exactly what I decided to do here, and get that shield, I can bring in Beedrill here and finish this match. So I swap in the Beedrill, poison jab a bit, go for the drill run immediately. This will put the Azu at 1 HP, and then I'll be able to poison jab it down and win the first match of me. Actually, this was the second match of me trying it. I used it in a set right before for one match. I was like, ooh, I like this. Try it again. There you go, got another dub. So, that first match, pretty straightforward. One lead, one swap, won the closer matchup. Everything lined up beautifully there. Let's get into this next one. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, everybody wanted to start leading with their ground types, especially their Crustals. So, Azumarill lead, beautiful. They swap into Wigglytuff, boom. Hit it hard with the hard counter of Beedrill with Poison Jab. Now, I'm still kind of debating on the moveset. You 100% want Drill Run. I'm not 100% sold on X Scissor. I haven't completely seen where I've wanted to use it. It's a good bait move, but then I'm debating maybe I should go with Foul Stinger, because Foul Stinger will bait also, and it will at least raise my attack stat, and those poison jabs are Beedrill's like haymaker punch to the meta. So I'm still kind of debating between X Scissor or Foul Stinger there, and maybe even Sludge Bomb to really just lock in that Azu matchup. But honestly, Beedrill does fine even without it. They go for a Rock Slide here. I had no problem shielding it because I know I'm going to commit to a Bubble Down with their Crustle, and based on the fact that they had a Wigglytuff in the back, it kind of told me that we were going to run into some Charm Hole. And if you need a team that can beat Charm Hole, here is your team. So we won lead hard off that with the Azu on the Crustle, and because of the fact I shielded the Rock Slide, this Gardevoir, Shadow Gardevoir, doing good chunks with its charm, is not going to be able to charm down my Azu, and now they're down to 2 shields because I farmed down the Crustle, had a bunch of energy, and I recognize the fact that they were running Charm Hole based on that Crustle lead and the Wigglytuff swapping. So now I go into Crustle here, go for this X Scissor to do some neutral damage, take out the Gardevoir, and win the second match of the set. So, need a team that beats Charm Hole, get frustrated with it, give this one a try. Also, let me know how much you're running into Charm Hole. As this meta develops, I'm kind of expecting to run into One Charmer and Shadow Vic. I think that'll be more of a nuisance and more of an annoyance in this Halloween Cup meta, but we move. So, we got an Azu and a Wigglytuff lead here, and this one's a weird one. This isn't exactly what I would consider a win, because you get to the second Ice Beam after they get to their first charge move, and those charms are doing so much damage to Azu. You need to decide if you want to lose shield advantage and win out the matchup, or if you want to keep shields even and then lose lead, because you're going to lose out that 0 shield matchup when they throw their charge move here, because they'll get off like a, what is this going to be? Play Rough. I was like, which fairy move is it? Dazzling Gleam, Play Rough, Moonblast? I couldn't figure it out. And yeah, see how I was in the red there by the time I got to that Ice Beam? Actually, I did an extra bubble, but still, the Play Rough would have been too much damage and I would have lost out lead if I did not shield that. So they go into a Haunter here, and I'm really banking on getting to this Ice Beam before I get Shadow Claw down. That would definitely determine the match here. So I will get off this Ice Beam, thankfully, and it will get the shield of the Haunter. And then I got Crustle, who's just going to come in and smack down away at the Haunter. So I'm really just hoping at this point that I can call the Shadow Ball, because if I can call the Shadow Ball, I can comfortably smack down away at this Haunter, and they're probably going to want to swap out. Called it, huge. Beedrill doesn't really want to see Haunter too much unless the Haunter has no shields, and I can get myself to that drill run, but that takes a while. They swap into Azu, and Beedrill would much rather see Azu here, even at a shield disadvantage. But now, because I'm at that shield disadvantage, I still need to play this right, because those Ice Beams hurt even though they're dealing neutral damage, and I was really thinking to myself, I know they have Haunter, they'd want to save the shield for Haunter, but something told me they recognized their win condition was keeping Azu alive, and I thought I could bait the shield. And that clearly didn't work. And I clearly went for another bait here. And it clearly didn't work again. But it put the Azu in a range where I was hoping I could like Poison Jab down, or I could also smack down it down. So I was kind of hoping, but like after they didn't call that first bait, I was like, you know what, maybe I don't want to win out this matchup, smack down the Azu for some energy so I could deal with the Haunter, but then they swap, and I'm like, alright, my win condition is, I don't even need that shield anymore, let's just commit to a complete smackdown down, and because I called that Shadow Ball earlier, Haunter will not be able to get to another Shadow Ball. This will be a Shadow Punch, it'll get me really low, we have an intense match on our hands, we'll be able to smack down the Azu in time before it can bubble me down, and I get it down just in time with all that energy to pull off the third dub of this set. We have a nice, comfortable team that we're feeling good with, and we're playing some intense, close matches, and that's what was really exciting. As we're getting adjusted to this Halloween Cup meta, I was playing a lot of 1 HP matches, whether I was winning or losing, and it was just so much fun to see how these new matchups be that close like that. Now, we got another positive lead there. They swapped to Alolan Muck, and I, again, new matchups, wasn't sure where I should go first, and I was like, you know what, Crustle sounds like the safer place. These smackdowns are going to hurt, the X Scissors will deal neutral damage, whereas with Beedrill, the Poison Jabs will be resisted, the X Scissors will be neutral, but I'd have to really get to the drill runs to kind of confirm winning or keeping switch advantage here. So I felt like Crustle was a safer play, which it 100% was, because based on the amount of damage I'm doing with smackdowns and getting to X Scissor, I will essentially outpace it. Even if we trade shields and go even shields here, I will be able to keep switch advantage, which is it's completely key in winning this match. So going for another X Scissor here. We're gonna see if they want to commit. They commit the second shield. So that essentially tells me, all right, I'm gonna commit to a smackdown down after you throw this charge move because I have every intention of committing double shields and making sure I have switch advantage because I need to keep Azu lined up with that Crustle. I do not want that Crustle see my Beedrill or it's GG for me. So they come back into their own Crustle. It's fine with me. They smackdown me down. Going back into Azu, and we're gonna see what their last Pokemon is, and it's going to be Galvantula. Now, this is what I like about Beedrill. Galvantula, Azu seem like the core mons for Halloween Cup meta. Beedrill core breaks them so well. It beats both of them. You gotta play it out right. The Galvantula one's a bit tricky. In this specific situation, all I need to do is get to this drill run. It'll deal neutral damage and it will take out the Galvantula. But I actually have to go double check the sim because I played out a lead situation against the Galvantula and I ended up losing it in that situation, and they brought in their Crustle. They knew that Azu was going to take it out, and it was going to be GG for me. But I would definitely recommend checking out PvP Poke, because I actually, after losing that lead, had not seen that matchup again, so I want to go and confirm how to make sure Beedrill beats Galvantula. So that one's definitely a tricky one. So, because of the fact that I was just curious to see how that Beedrill and Galvantula matchup played out, in between clips I went and checked the sim, and also because I shouldn't be telling you to go and check things when I'm supposed to be the one providing that information, so I do apologize. But I went and checked the sim real quick, and turns out that Beedrill just needs to go straight X Scissor to win that, and Galvantula should be throwing the lunges because you're most likely going to shield regardless. So I'm not exactly sure how I messed it up in that matchup that I played earlier. I hadn't recorded it to go and double check what I did wrong. I might have overfarmed trying to land the drill run, so that might have been my huge mistake there, whereas the X's are neutral, so you might as well just go straight there. Again, another Crustle lead getting into this fifth match. They go into Azu, we save swap in the Beedrill. These matches are pretty straightforward because of the fact that the meta is just so shaped around everybody's being in love with Crustle, and everybody wants to use their Crustle in the lead. By all means, go ahead, it'll bring the Azu lead back, but then the Azu lead will bring the Galvantula and the Beedrill leads in, and then that'll bring the Crustle leads back, and that'll potentially bring the Marowak. So it seems like it's just going to form like a bit of a triangle, because as of right now, there's not like one Pokemon in the lead that you're feeling 100% comfortable to win every matchup. So I like that. Azu, though, is feeling like the safest bet, because even in the matchups it loses, it doesn't lose like super hard. And with this double bug strat, honestly, I wasn't really able to showcase any wins after losing lead, but in the second set, I definitely had lost some leads, and pulling that save swap into Beedrill is huge. Obviously, if you save swap and then get met with like a smackdown Crustle or potentially a Tyranitar, because I've been seeing a bunch of that too, or not really seeing it, but like seeing other people's battles and they're running into it, then that'll be a trickier situation. But the more I play out with this team, because this is my first day with it, the more I'll run into those situations and get you those hard answers. So hopefully this is a team I'll continue to have success with. This one just lined up beautifully. After winning lead, winning switch, their Beedrill's on my Crustle. And honestly, what was this? This was literally also the team I'm currently running, just in a different order. They had Crustle, they had Azu, they had Beedrill, and because of the fact that they thought Crustle was a better lead and I thought Azu was a better lead, it literally determined me winning this match, and we smacked down each other there. I had my Azu in the back, and we pull off the 5-0 set on our first day of Halloween Cup battles. I highly recommend this team. As I play with it more, I will definitely be able to talk you through more of those losing lead situations, but you gotta play around what the meta is, and if people are making the decision to run a certain Pokemon in the lead, your job is to analyze that after a couple battles and adapt and adjust and change your team up, or adjust your team, because again, I was running the exact same team as my opponent there, but because I chose the more favorable lead, recognizing the meta, it ended up as being a W and a win for me. That's one other piece of advice that I would definitely recommend, and I don't know if you guys do, and I typically make mental notes of it, and my memory seems to be good when it comes to Pokemon. With most things it's not, so if you don't have the best memory, I'd highly recommend, especially with a brand new meta like the Halloween Cup one, it's going to take some people a while to adapt and adjust. Write down the leads, write down the teams you're running into, and based on what you're seeing the majority of people doing at one point, adapt your team based on that. Honestly, this team could be run with a Crustle lead that I'm currently running, so if the meta ever adapts in a way where Crustle will be more favorable, or if people are running a bunch of Azus, I mean, then again, my Azu has Play Rough, but I wouldn't mind that mirror match in the lead, but I could always go back to the Beedrill lead. So this team is definitely interchangeable on who you run in the lead, and I would highly recommend keeping track of what the meta looks like to make that decision. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed those battles. I hope you found them as exciting as I did, and I really want to hear what teams you guys are running. And again, we only have a week left, so if you're having a lot of success with a Halloween Cup team, please go visit my Google Drive link in the description. I would love for you to submit some Halloween Cup battles where you guys are just pulling off awesome dubs with like the craziest spice, because honestly, I've been seeing some wild Pokemon. I don't know if you guys know 2O Butters. I've kind of shouted him out recently in Master Premier, but he was running Shadow T-Tar, which is just hyping itself. But anyhow, I'm on a tangent. I can't wait to get you guys more of this Halloween Cup content. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.